Welcome to True Crime with Strategic Eyes.
Strategic back again. What's going on, guys? I really appreciate you guys joining me today. I hope you guys had a great weekend so far. I'm sorry we had to kind of switch up the shows a little bit. I needed to postpone that Stephen Stearns video one more time, and I'm gonna tell you a reason for that. I'm not ready to do that show. That show requires a little bit more research on my part to make sure that you get a valuable and probative show. We just don't put shows out on this channel just for clicks and views. We're only going to talk about something if we have something to talk about. If you look at my body of work, there's no clickbait in any of my work, and there's no stringing things along just to talk about something that's popular. We only talk about things that are probative. We only talk about subjects when there's something to add. So I pushed that video back a little bit because I'm not done doing the research that I need to do to make sure that you get a valuable show. But guess what? This show right here is valuable. This show right here requires awareness. We're going to go through a very sad case. I'm going to try my best to do it within the confines of YouTube's terms of service. Yes, I am going to try and be the best boy that I can be on YouTube because we're tired of all of our shows getting demonetized. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this February has been the worst month that this show has had on YouTube in the whole year that we've been doing true crime. The whole year we've been doing true crime, because we started out with Madeline Soto in February, and guess what? We're here this February. This February closed out. It's now March, and that was the worst one. Why? It's not because people weren't watching the shows. We had really good shows that people supported us on. It's because YouTube demonetized almost every single video that we did. Even the videos that they ended up monetizing because of our appeals, we still missed out on peak viewership before YouTube a week later decided, oh, we could monetize. This is not as bad as we thought it was. It was a horrible month. So we're going to try and change the game up a little bit, see if YouTube will treat us a little bit better. If they don't treat us better after we change the game up, then that clearly means that YouTube is out to get this channel. It's happened before on this channel. I hope they haven't hit that red button for me. I hope I didn't piss one of these purple-haired folks off that's resulting me to be put in that YouTube doghouse. And if I didn't do it before, I probably did it right now. But anyway, guys, real tough case for us to talk about. We're going to do this body-worn camera review. It is edited. I want to say this first. Remember, we're trying new things, ladies and gentlemen. There's a reason why I'm doing all this talking. It's because you kind of got to get through the first 5 minutes before you start talking about and showing some crazy stuff is what I'm hearing from my research, right? So we're going to do that, right? But before we get started, I want to say that we're reviewing this not for entertainment purposes. We are doing this for educational purposes. I am an active duty sex crimes detective. I have a bachelor's degree in human services, social work, and criminal justice. I have almost 20 years of experience in law enforcement, doing sex crimes investigations, working as a correction officer, working as a police officer, and now working as a detective. I am uniquely qualified to talk about any and everything law enforcement. So my viewers, I'm talking to YouTube right now. I'm not even talking to you guys, right? We're doing this for YouTube. So YouTube gods who are watching this, we are going to be evaluating this from a professional point of view. We're going to be going through this, looking at training, looking at technique, looking at just the entire story and talking about it from that vantage point as educational, okay? So that being said, we're here for educational purposes. All right, that being said, Annette Munez is celebrating 7 months as a Strategic Eyes recruit member. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Gabrielle Perez is a new recruit member. Thank you. You're awesome. Thank you very much. This one is a very sad one, ladies and gentlemen. Very sad, and it could have been avoided. But all of these cases could have been avoided. And yet we don't avoid them. And I think it's because we don't take these things seriously. Ladies and gentlemen, we do not take mental health seriously in this country. And I'm not saying mental health had anything to do with this case, but in general, we don't take mental health seriously in this country. Ladies and gentlemen, we do not take the responsibility of parenthood seriously in this country. You have fathers who make babies and walk away from those children. You have mothers who keep having children even though they're not mentally, emotionally, or financially equipped to take care of those kids. It's both sides. Both sides are equally doing these horrible things, which is bringing children into unstable environments. And it doesn't always work out. In fact, more often than not, it doesn't work out, period. Okay? And we end up with abused, neglected, and traumatized humans who are trying to put the pieces together for the next generation. Our country does not support these mothers and these fathers making it easier for people to stay married. I mean, if we're sending bombs across the world, why can't we, I don't know, give a tax cut for married couples? You guys know when you get married, you actually get penalized in the tax code? I mean, you pay more in taxes when you get married. You should pay less in taxes when you're married. We should be incentivizing people to get married and to stay together and keep these families together. It should be harder for people to get divorces. Of course, if you could prove some type of domestic violence or something like that, of course, divorce those folks, separate them. We don't want anybody being abused or hurt. But people shouldn't just be able to just get married in Vegas. That should be against the law. You should have to go to see a therapist for 3 months, of a couples therapist for 3 months before you get married, to make sure you're working out those issues so you don't bring those issues into a marriage, And when you're ready to divorce, it shouldn't just be something you can say no fault. Hey, we just don't like each other no more. Yep, sorry. I don't like his breath. I don't like her breath. Oh, she gained 10 pounds. I don't want her anymore. It shouldn't be that easy. People should have to go through counseling first and mediation before they finally call it quits if there is no other issues that might be a danger to one or both parties in that relationship. I don't know. I just feel like families should be kept together, and I just feel like we don't take these things seriously. And so then we have all these folks running around having babies who shouldn't have babies, and we get these tragedies. All right, so I purposely talked for 7 minutes to kind of like let that algorithm see that we mean no harm. We're here trying to give a voice to the voiceless. We're not here trying to hurt anybody, even though the algorithm treats me as though I'm a threat to YouTube. This is crazy, all right? So now we want to get this started, people, ladies and gentlemen. Big shout out to Jane McCauley with a $2 super chat. Says, appreciate you. Keep up the good work, Strategic. Thank you so much. Appreciate you for supporting me. So let's jump into this, man. Let me go ahead and share my screen with you guys. This one's sad. I keep saying that because it is. It just breaks my heart. I wish I could talk the way I want to talk. We'll talk about it, I guess, on the members only and the Patreon. I can't talk like that here without hurting the channel. And I know you guys want me to stick around for a while, so I'm going to have to adapt and evolve. So I'm looking at the people that I look up to, like Grizzly True Crime and Plunder, people who I've been fans of their shows before I even decided to do true crime myself. And I see how they operate on their channels and how they defeat that censorship. So I'm going to try and adopt some of those techniques myself to not make it easy for them to punish this channel. It is what it is. So big shout out to everybody who's watching. Please go ahead and hit that like button. Let's get started, ladies and gentlemen. Let's do it. Big shout out to EWU Body Cam. We'll definitely have the link inside of the chat and inside of the description, so you guys could go ahead and watch the full body worn camera walkthrough. They do excellent work over there, and we've used their products before on this channel, and we appreciate what they do. I mean, all the folks who bring this public information to the masses. All right, we do appreciate them. Let's keep going.
How long has baby been gone?
3 months.
3 months?
Mm-hmm.
No, none of that. No, I confess.
What? What are you confessing to?
What'd you confess to? What you do?
I want to punch his in the face. These kids are gonna be up for life.
When officers receive reports of a 3-year-old boy who hasn't been seen in over 3 months, they rush to perform a welfare.
Just to let you guys know, we're going to read some articles when we're done. He's also blind. This was a helpless baby. Helpless in every sense of, not that a 3-year-old could ever defend themselves or even reach out for help. It's not possible. Some 3-year-olds aren't even speaking. But he was also blind. Very, very sad.
Check at the mother's home. What follows next is a bone-chilling confession and a horrifying discovery that demands answers. As investigators dig deeper, they find themselves confronting a reality far darker than they could have ever imagined.
He wouldn't eat, and I just just took it overboard.
What you do?
The following report is based on a
Well, you guys know how we do here. We tell you the end in the beginning and the beginning and the end. We don't care. We're not stringing you along to keep you here. We're going to run through this together. We're going to go on a journey together. I will tell you what she did. She used her feet to apply excessive force to his chest, and that is what ended that beautiful soul.
official police records, and most of the footage has never been seen before until now. In the city of Detroit, Michigan, on June 24, 2022, dispatchers in Wayne County receive a 911 call from Child Protective Services.
I got a complaint that a mother reported to her family that one of her children was given away at the hospital. The same mother told a neighbor that her family members had the children. Well, the family members went to the house and confronted the mother, and she will not give up the information where the child is, and there's a concern that the child is actually dead.
How old is the child?
3 years old. There are 5 other children in that home as well.
Officers arrived at the home of 31-year-old Azurdi France, where her
This is excellent. I love this. I love what I just heard. And I'll tell you why I love what I just heard, because we've actually covered a few similar stories in the last week or something where nobody says anything. But in this instant, she gave a cockamamie story of why this beautiful soul would no longer be seen. Allegedly, she gave him away at the hospital. Everybody knew that was just crap. And what they did, they reported it. And I love that. So it's an anonymous reporting, but we know that reporting came from her family, because that's who she told that story to. And her family came forward and they made that anonymous report. Whether you make it live and you say, this is who I am and this is my concern, or you make an anonymous report, the outcome is the same. It goes with that old saying, see something, say something. And that's what that family did. And I got nothing but respect for whoever in that family made that anonymous complaint that got us to this point where we're able to put that baby to rest with dignity and get some justice on the mother for what she did.
Conflicting answers regarding the whereabouts of the 3-year-old boy begin to raise serious concerns.
What's your son's name? Chase Allen. How old is he? 3. Okay, where is he? What's her name? What name? I gave my old friend, a friend of mine. Okay, where does she live? That information is in my iPhone. Do you have your phone? No. You have a phone number? No, it's in my iPhone. Where's the phone? It's not here. Where's the phone? It's broken. The only phone I have is here. So it's not here, it's broken. Is it broke or is it just not here? Or is it both? No, it's not here. How long has baby been?
You would think that she would have taken the time to actually figure this out. Like, think about what would be my story if somebody asked me, where is my child? I can't even say the word. My juvie. My youngling. Where's my youngling? You would think that she would have thought about this, rehearsed this, planned this out. She didn't. Now, listen, maybe she did not expect that the tragedy would have happened. Maybe that wasn't something that she actually planned on doing. I get that. But it's not as though right away the police showed up. She had a lot of time that this youngling was placed inside of that refrigerator. She had time to think this through, to figure it out. And this is the best she could come up with. I'm starting to not give these folks the credit that I've given them throughout my entire career. That, some of these people were mildly intelligent and just made mistakes or thought they were smarter than the cops or whatever. I'm just starting to believe that a lot of these folks are unsophisticated. She is unsophisticated. Stephen Stearns is unsophisticated. These folks aren't smart. They think they're smart. Some of them may talk or train themselves to say things and use big words to make them sound like they're sophisticated, but that's all an act. It's all a mask. It's not real. When you really dig below the surface, these people are just not sophisticated. She's an example of it, and Stephen Stearns is not that far behind her. Let's keep going.
No. 3 months. 3 months? Mm-hmm. So has baby been get the plan for 3 months? Yeah. I don't know. I asked family members to get him because I just had a baby and he's blind and he needs special attention. And she stepped in to help us. Okay, where does she live at? I'm not sure. So you gave your baby to somebody that you don't know her whereabouts, you don't know where she lives, you don't know the phone number, you don't know none of that. No. Okay, can we come in and make sure he's not in his house? Do you have a search warrant? No, well, I'm asking you for permission. Can we come in and check this house for this child?
Things take a sudden and unexpected turn when Azure D steps outside.
You say what? I confess.
What?
Confess
What are you confessing to?
What'd you confess to? What you do? Can I talk to you in private, please? Put cuffs on him.
As Azure D is handcuffed and led away, other officers
You know, I'm going to stop it here for 1 second. I actually have a little bit of respect for her, and I'm going to tell you why. I just thought about it. Maybe she wanted to get caught. Maybe she knew that she would not be able to hide this fact that this youngling was missing. And she was ready to give up when the time came that she would be confronted about this. I mean, the human nature tells her, be a little deceptive, right? Because maybe you might get away with it. Maybe they might turn around and walk away. There's that 1% chance they might say, okay, have a good day. We just wanted to ask a question. Oh, is that your friend's house? No problem. Nothing to see here. But she gave up. How many people do we see actually do that? And Kitty Bobo has it right. It's guilt. But how many folks have we? Look at Stephen Stearns. I'm talking about him because we're supposed to do a show on him tonight, but I pushed that back to tomorrow. How many folks actually say, hey, I did it, man? And they actually do it without trying to spin it. Like, I've had tons of confessions, but those confessions are usually spun in a way that diminishes their culpability. So they, yeah, I did it, but I did it because of this. Because, whereas she said, yeah, I confess. I did it. Okay. You still got to pay, but I can work with that. I'm not going to give you a year less than what you should get. There's no mercy here, but I can work with it because what you've done is you've spared us. You spared your loved ones. You spared society the added pain of having to pry that truth out of you, whether it be through a confession later on or a trial. I respect that. Let's keep going.
step in to speak with the children, whose ages range from just 2 months to 9 years old.
How many of you are here? Four.
Yeah.
6 kids, 2 months to 9. This is what I'm talking about. To me, it's a little bit of negligence. Like I don't believe in eugenics. I think that's terrible for people to pick and choose who should be parents. I don't feel like it is. I don't think that we should ever come to a point in society where we limit who can have children. You have some people who are the most poorest people, mentally ill people, whatever, who have kids, and those kids will grow up to be wonders and amazing contributors to society. You don't know who's going to raise that next president, who's going to raise that next scientific genius. You don't know. But half of my brain is saying that, and the other half is saying, like, if you don't have a pot to pee in, isn't it a little bit of negligence that you just keep bringing human beings into this sad situation, knowing that you are already in a sad situation? You got 4 or 5 different baby daddies. You got 6 kids. You're poor. You're living on public assistance, yet you keep meeting new men and bringing new babies into that equation. Now, those men are no better, but there's one common denominator with all those men is you. So for those men, you might be their only baby mama, their first kid. But for that man, that man is your 6th or your 5th or your 4th baby daddy. So although it's both sides have culpability, do you not have more culpability that you're that common denominator that keeps bringing children into this impossible situation? And then what happens? You get overwhelmed and you end up doing what you did to this beautiful soul. And now you got 6 kids, 5 kids who are now going to be raised in the foster system or, with relatives or whatever, because now you're going to spend the rest of your days in incarceration. I don't know. I don't want to be unfair. I don't want to be unfair, and I don't want to pick on her. I'm just figuring, like, when does somebody say enough is enough? When does somebody make that mature decision that they're not going to keep bringing children in this world to live in these impossible environments? Let's keep going.
Oh, it's my baby sister too. Is your baby sister 5? You guys, where's your brother at? Can you tell me? It's okay.
Is he in the house?
Right. You can't remember anything? Do you remember like the last time you saw him? You're not in trouble. Is he inside?
Your mom's gonna be okay. She doesn't know what you're telling us right now. Is he inside the house? Just shake your head no or yes.
Yeah. Can you show me? Yeah. Okay. How about you show me?
The officers follow the 9-year-old girl into the home, unaware of the grim discoveries awaiting them inside. Meanwhile, Azurdi makes a chilling confession about the missing boy.
I guess my shoes for you. We'll get you some shoes. We'll get you some shoes. I'm scared. Don't. Listen. It was it. We got it. Listen. He was malnutrition and I was scared to take food. Okay. Where is he? In the basement in the kitchen over there. I was scared. Okay, have a seat. Okay. You said he's where?
He was scared too. There's no excuse for this. There's no excuse. You could take him to the hospital. You could take him anywhere. You know, it's not easy to unload a child, to say I don't want to take care of a child anymore. Contrary to popular belief, it's not easy. In the first 2 weeks of life, almost every single state in America has a law that allows you to drop the child off at a fire station, a hospital, whatever designated area that they choose. It varies. A police station, it varies. But almost every state in America allows you within that first 2 weeks to drop a child off, no questions asked. But once you get past that, some states might give you an extra week or two or not, but once you get past that buffer zone, you can't just take your child and say, I don't want my child anymore. You could get criminally charged for that. You could get in trouble. And I don't know how to feel about that because I get it. We don't want our system inundated with parents just choosing they don't want to take care of their responsibilities even though they can. Because there are people out there, if you just say unlimited, there's people out there, you just start seeing a whole bunch of 14, 15, 16 juvies being dropped off everywhere. Like, yeah, she ain't washing the dishes. He's staying out all night. Psst, I'm done. You can have him, state. We don't want that. But then we have these situations. I don't know what the balance is. But this woman, I mean, we just got to be honest. She couldn't just go to a hospital and say, take the child. She could not have done that. Not lawfully. She would have gotten charged with child neglect, etc. She would have definitely got charged. They wouldn't just take that little 3-year-old boy and be like, oh, no problem. We'll take him. You don't want him. We'll take him. They wouldn't have done that. They would have charged her with a crime if she did that. But what's the alternative? The alternative is the ultimate tragedy happened to him. Let's keep going.
Where's the baby? You said he in the basement refrigerator. Yes. I'm nervous. When did he pass away? How long ago? In March. The end of March. He was malnutrition and I didn't want to take him. Okay. Put your foot in the car. We'll get you some shoes.
One officer quickly races inside to tell the others, but nothing could prepare them for the horrifying discovery waiting downstairs.
Detroit police!
She's discussing you in the basement. Detroit police!
The little girl told me to.
Detroit police, if you're down here, say something.
That little baby knew
Detroit
exactly
police.
where her brother was.
You guys don't want to see them, though.
Yes, I know.
I'm gonna guess it's in the bag. I don't have those.
I don't either.
You know, the sad part is that the little girl knew exactly where her brother was, and that's very sad because she probably saw it with her own eyes, to be honest with you. And it's amazing, like, a lot of this is just mental illness. Like, look all the space these folks be having. Like, we've done these walkthrough in, like, the last week or two, and we went through multiple houses and the different videos that I put up. And you go into these houses, and yes, they're in low-income areas, and the people who live in there are very poor, but they have all this space. and they just choose to live a life filled with garbage and junk, instead of actually making do with what they have and giving their children this space to play. That could be a nice playroom, that basement, just clean it up and just put the little toys that you could amass with what little resources you have, and now you got a playroom. Instead, it's garbage all over the place, it's junky, and there's a refrigerator down there with a beautiful soul in there. It's amazing. It's amazingly sad, man. Let's keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good blood.
The officers closely examine what appears to be a plaid-colored laundry bag and make a devastating confirmation.
Yeah, that's human. Yeah.
I'm going to tell you what. The officer did what he had to do, but I'm going to tell you what. I wouldn't even need to do that. And some of those officers there probably didn't need to do it either. You could smell ending. Remember, I got to speak funny because we on YouTube. When you smell that, there's nothing else that smells like that. Not an animal, not food, nothing else. It is a specific smell that only we can produce. And it sticks with you. And it gets in the back of your throat. You can taste it. You eat it. It's really bad. That's why people gag, because it doesn't go anywhere else. I don't know if it's psychological or that's just how that specific, those fumes and those enzymes, that's how your body intakes those enzymes. I don't know. It's unlike any other smell. You taste it. You smell it and you taste it. And it literally makes you want to gag. It doesn't matter how many times you smelled it. When you get a good whiff of it, it makes you want to gag. So when I hear that officer was gagging, I'm not making fun of them. Because it doesn't matter how many times you smelled it, and I've smelled it a lot. It's always going to make you do the same thing. Let's keep going.
Damn. So. You want?
Yeah, I got you.
It's
Confirmed.
Yeah. The skeleton remains. You don't have to look if you don't want.
I'm gonna look. I got you. Yeah, I got you. I can smell it.
If you want me to pull it back, I can.
You ain't got to look. I mean, well, I think she's a supervisor. Is she the supervisor? If she's a supervisor, she definitely got to look. She got to confirm with her own eyes. Can't take nobody else's word for it. Let me see.
That's good enough for me.
Yeah, she's the boss. She's the supervisor. She had to look. Absolutely. She definitely had to look.
Outside, Azure D offers a harrowing explanation.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
I didn't beat him. I didn't. He was malnutrition, and I didn't know who to call. It's not abuse. I was scared.
Though this is the second time Azure D has claimed Chase's death was caused by malnutrition, she would later change her.
Malnutrition is abuse. Either way, it doesn't matter how you're trying to spin it, sister. Malnutrition is abuse. You wasn't feeding the child. And if the child is not eating because of something that's happening with them health-wise or something, it's your job to take that child and go get help. So it doesn't matter how you spin it. You still abused the kid. You still neglected them.
Her story during her interrogation and reveal a more gut-wrenching truth.
I'm not trying to sound like an or anything, but I can't talk about anything. I can't talk about the case. The detectives are en route, and they'll go from there.
Where will my kids go?
CPS is coming out.
No. Will family get them?
I can't speak. I don't know.
Please.
I can tell you that's what's happening.
They're on the way.
CPS there, yeah.
Oh my God. No, please. They have family.
Officers now turn their focus to the safety of the remaining children. Upon further inspection, they learn
Send her
the
to
house is
jail.
crawling in roaches,
Of course
and
it
there's
is.
no running water or food in the kitchen.
Of course
In the
not.
living room, officers quickly locate the 2-month-old in a baby swing.
This is what I don't get, ladies and gentlemen. I don't get this. And I'm not in any way body shaming anything. Not at all. It's going to make sense. Why, when we have these situations where the children are being neglected and malnourished, why is it the mother is always overweight? I don't get that. I don't get how you can feed yourself but you can't feed the juvies, the younglings. That doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. But you know what makes sense to me? Send that ass to jail. Let's keep going.
Is she alive?
Yeah, the milk's just spilling there. Hopefully she stays asleep.
With the exception of the eldest 9-year-old girl and the infant, the other children aren't wearing any clothing.
Is that your little brother? Where's his clothes at? Does he have clothes? Yeah, he does. Where at? You want to show me? She's just grabbing clothes. Where do you sleep at? We sleep in my room. In this one? No, this one. You sleep in here? Okay.
While one officer looks after the baby, the other children are escorted safely to the back of a police cruiser.
Come on, babies.
Come on, guys. You guys want some candy? You guys want some water? You only got one bottle. You have to pass it around, okay? It's flavored.
This lady put these children on a journey that they don't deserve. Now they have to deal with Child Protective Services, group homes, foster homes, if the family won't take them. If the family takes them, they're most likely going to get split up, because what family could just take an influx of 6 juvies? I couldn't even do that. My home financially could not even just take on 6 additional kids. That's 9 kids. 9 kids in this house. These kids are going to get split up, all because this mother refused to put them first, or be smart enough to understand that she's not mentally or emotionally equipped to take care of them, yet she keep pushing them out. Pushing them out. Not learning from the lessons of the first child or the second child or the third child or the fourth child or the fifth child or the sixth child. No lessons being learned, ladies and gentlemen. She keep pushing them out even though she can't give them a quality life. Not even a life with love, because you could be raised in poverty as long as you got love and support. This is America. We will find a way to feed you. The government will feed you. Your church will feed you. Your pantry will feed you. You will find a way to be fed. But as long as you have love and support, there's a future. She can't even give her kids that. She can't even give them love because she don't even love herself, yet she keep pushing out these children. Why? So they could give her some type of meaning? Is that what it is? So she can say she accomplished something in this world? Well, I'm a mother. That's all you got to give us? But you're not even doing a good job doing that. And now you're going to put decades, if not the rest of your life, in prison, and these kids are going to get separated, man. It'd have been cheaper for us to just take care of you, which is what we was doing, than now to have to take care of all these kids in all these different areas and deal with the emotional trauma that these kids have experienced, all because mommy just could not make better choices, man. Guys, please hit that like button, support the channel. Let's keep going.
You guys like hot fries?
The children are given a cell phone, which they use to watch a movie while officers outside grapple with the unthinkable tragedy.
$10 if that kid starved to death.
I don't get it. You gotta let a kid have that happen.
She's ignorant.
Yeah. Oh.
These kids are gonna be up for life.
Oh, okay. So I think I just heard them say that she had another baby after this had happened. I don't know how long. I don't know. It'll reveal itself, hopefully.
Dude, I already knew he was in there. You see that on the floor?
That's, yeah.
That's all I needed.
Well, I seen the bag. You could see the head shape, and then the bottom of it.
How you want to put them in a freezer that don't even work?
I think it was a fridge, like under those fridges.
This is dumb.
She's disgusting.
She said she could.
Yeah, so it just deteriorated inside there. It wasn't even like if you put it in a freezer, then you would have stopped the deterioration. There would be no smell. She put it in the freezer, and I'm saying it only because I'm trying to find a way not to say the words that's going to get us hurt on this channel. But believe me, I would not willingly refer to this youngling in that manner. So I apologize for that. My subconscious is just trying to get me not to say key words that will trigger YouTube. But she puts the youngling in a place that's only going to make it worse rather than any better. And somebody in the chat says that, and I've seen this a few times in the chat where people say that, well, the kids equal money and therefore they have more kids. I get that, but it doesn't make sense to me, ladies and gentlemen, because it's much harder to raise children than just to go to work. The amount of money, the government is not dumb. The government is not, you got to put in 6, 7 kids in order to bring in thousands and thousands of dollars a month in assistance. You're not going to get that kind of money with 1, 2, 3 kids. I grew up on public assistance. We was barely getting anything to get by, especially after Bill Clinton and those folks did welfare reform. They made the tap went dry after that. It's been many decades since I was last on public assistance. So I know, did they undo welfare reform and start giving people a raise or something? Because having children running around, needing your attention, changing the diapers, feeding them, dealing with the dysfunction of having tons of young children, it's easier just for you to get a job than to deal with kids. Especially if you don't like kids and your only purpose of having the children is to get a check. You're better off just going to McDonald's and just, put the patty inside the microwave. Patty goes on the bread, squirt the ketchup, close the bread, give it to the customer. I mean, they're taking on the most difficult job in humankind. Mothers have a very difficult job. Fathers, we put our work into, but we all know mothering is something special. As much as I'm a dad that thinks I'm an awesome dad, you got to give your hats off to the mothers out there. Mothering is one of the most difficult jobs on the planet. You mean to tell me that that's a better option to get paid than just to get a 9-to-5 to do whatever you want, whatever menial job you want to do? It's easier to be a mother of 6 and collect a welfare check than to be a janitor and just clean or a burger flipper? I don't know, man. It doesn't make sense to me. The math ain't mathing. Let's keep going.
It's been 3 months, right? Is what she initially said. The baby that she just had is only 2 months old, so the baby died before she even had the baby, so she can't really claim.
You can tell it's because I'm malnourished as
Yeah, they were very skinny. I asked them which room they were sleeping in, the one that I couldn't even open the door. It just reeks of pee and
Same level of
starvation, probably.
in a bag.
That's fun.
But I was trying to figure out what we're doing with these kids to get them off scene.
With all the supposed intellect that I think I have, somebody in the chat just stated the obvious that, I, with all of my empathy and my trying to give people the benefit of the doubt, I didn't just realize the obvious. Mr. Obvious, thank you. The person in the chat said, well, it's easy if you're neglectful. If you don't care about these younglings, then it would be easy to pop out 6 kids to get a welfare check because you're not going to take care of them anyway. Hence, this lady had 6 children. She did what she did to one of them in the refrigerator, and the rest of them are running around naked, and the house smells like pee, and it's filled with cockroaches, and there's no food, and none of that stuff because obviously she's neglectful. And that's the obvious. I'm thinking about it from a perspective of somebody who's actually going to take care of these youngins. Folks like her aren't taking care of them. Collecting a check and not doing the job, basically.
As more reinforcements arrive at the scene, curious neighbors gather outside, watching the situation unfold.
Excuse me.
No.
Do my neighbors have to know?
Huh?
Do my neighbors?
Man, listen, you're asking me a lot of questions.
I'm nervous. I'm sorry.
I got you. I know. I understand you're nervous, and I apologize for that. But right now, we don't know what's going on yet. So when we find out what's going on, we will let you know what's going on.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
I want to punch his in the face. In reality.
That's what we signed up for, buddy.
And now she's all worried about it. Stupid.
He's got to get control of his emotions. He does. Yeah, and this cop is trying to kind of tell him, like, hey, this is what we signed up for. I get it. Believe me, I get it. You just saw a horrible sight, but you got to get control of your emotions, especially if you got that body worn camera on. This is what the people demand of you. It's why they pay you. It's why they train you. It's why they entrust you to be the vanguard, the representative, the enactor of the law. So I'm not trying to talk down on this guy. I get it. He's a hero and he should be respected. He's just seen something extremely traumatizing. But this is what you get paid to do. So get it together and stop showing out on the camera, because this footage is going to be shown to a jury. And a defense attorney is going to try and use every single angle to try and help the bad guy. And this doesn't help the good guys. This helps the bad guy. Let's keep going.
Officers contact Child Protective Services, who begin making their way to the scene to assess the children and locate a safe place for them to go. Before they arrive, the 2-month-old baby wakes up hungry, and the officers face a nauseating dilemma.
There's no clean bottles.
Just grab it from on.
Look at that.
Or shake it out and get them.
Oh boy.
Whatever.
I'm gonna check the kitchen real quick. I don't see any. Might just have to rinse that one out.
It's moldy milk in here. She was working on a bottle.
You know, I just said that. I said, you smell that water. I would smell that water, bro. I wouldn't trust nothing in that house. I would go to the neighbors and be like, hey, guys, does anybody have an infant? Can somebody spare some milk? You know, even if they got to wet nurse that baby, like we back in the 16th century with the wet nurses, whatever. I would not trust anything in that house. I respect them, though. They're doing their best, and I guess they found some formula or whatever, but I would not trust anything in that house. Because guess what? They just opened some milk up, and somebody gagged and said, oh, it's rotten milk. You know? Like, nothing in that house should be trusted.
Yeah, it was moldy. I was like, I'm assuming it was before walking down the street. Yeah, it was. I opened it and it hit me in the face.
Meanwhile, Azure D has yet another question for officers.
I'm not sure. Shoot, hopefully we take you so I can flirt with the girl for homicide. Nothing.
I didn't agree.
No, you're fine. You don't need to.
I'm getting checked for homicide.
Well, this dude is saying too much, man. Hold on here. Let me go back here. I think he screwed up. Because remember, she got to talk to the detectives. You can't ruin the detective's case. You got it. That's why it's so important for officers to be professional, because how they treat. And I get it. Listen, man, I don't speak about nothing I don't know about. You'll never see me come here talk about, oh, that doctor did bad. I don't know nothing about doctoring. Okay? I don't know nothing about that stuff. Oh, that lawyer is terrible. I usually just critique evidence, and I'll tell you when I think the lawyers are doing a great job, but I'm not going deep on a lawyer because I'm not a lawyer, okay? I talk about law enforcement because this is what I know, this is what I do, this is what I eat, and this is what I sleep thinking about. What drama is going to meet me at work tomorrow? What cases is going to come through on the phone? That's what I sleep, eat, and drink about, okay? So I say these things for a reason, because I'm not a police officer anymore on the beat, listening to the radio runs. I'm a detective, and I know what helps cases, and I know what breaks cases, and I know what makes cases very difficult. How the patrol officers treat the perps is the energy that the perps are going to bring into the interrogation room. And the interrogation room is where we make magic happen, is where we get these cases put to bed. So if you treat a perp like they're ish, even though they are ish, they're going to have a sour taste in their mouth when that detective is trying to get truth and fact out of them 20, 30 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours later. That's why it's so important for the cops on the streets to set that tone, to bring it down, to calm down and relax and say, I know you're a piece of ish, but the goal is for us to send you away for the rest of your life. It's not going to do anybody any justice for me to let you know that you're a piece of crap. You know you're a piece of crap. It's just going to piss you off when I tell you you're a piece of crap. So that's why I say calm down and relax, because what you say to these perps affects how they respond to detectives later. Now, I think this officer screwed up and said something he shouldn't have said. Let's see what happens.
Yet another question for officers.
I'm not sure. Shoot, hopefully we take you so I can flirt with the girl for homicide. Nothing.
I'm sorry, I just dropped my drink, pissed off about that, and look what he said. He's being a naughty boy. Look at him. He said, "I would flirt with," and something flirting about charging you with homicide or something. I don't know what he said. It sounded weird. I'm not from
Hopefully we take you so I can flirt with the girl.
So hopefully we take you so I can flirt with the girl from homicide. That's so inappropriate, bro. First of all, that's an EEO. That's sexual harassment on your colleague. What is wrong with these people? Where is this? Hold on here. Hold on. I'm trying to see where this happened. I forgot where this happened. Somebody tell me where this happened. What is wrong with these cops? You got one cop talking about he wants to punch her in the face. You got this dude talking about his colleagues on body camera about how he wants to flirt with them. And what? What's wrong with you, bro? And somebody says a coping No, it's not a coping mechanism. It's unprofessional. I've been in these situations. I have seen myself and my colleagues from all different backgrounds, white, black, Indian, Chinese, Hispanic, you name it. We're not talking like that. There's no record you could find us on where we're talking like that. That's unprofessional. And he could cope a mechanism right into getting his charges from his job from sexually harassing his colleague. You don't talk like that about a colleague on body camera in a homicide case. It's unprofessional, man. Come on. Stop disrespecting the badge, man. You're making us look like amateurs out there. Where do they recruit these people? This is why we have all this problem in law enforcement. You got to get the right candidates. Unbelievable.
I'm sorry.
Oh, this is Detroit. Speaks volumes. Speaks volumes.
No, you're fine. You don't need it.
I'll get it checked. I'm trying to think for her.
No, I said.
Oh, no, I said hopefully we get, yeah, let's see how he fix it.
Hopefully we take you so I can go flirt with the girl from homicide.
Yeah.
Another problem arises inside the...
See, notice what EW said. Another problem. They didn't go in because it's not the kind of channel that does that. We do that here. But even their writing team, when they're putting together their narration, another problem. They acknowledged that what happened in that car was a problem. It was unprofessional, and it also messed it up a little bit for the detective that's going to talk to her later, the detective from homicide. Let's keep going.
The house as officers attempt to locate diapers for one of the younger children.
The 9-year-old said that's their bedroom, so I don't know if there's a diaper in there. I don't see any either.
He repeated himself like somebody said in the chat. He should have just said, I just made a stupid joke. I'm sorry. It was inappropriate, unprofessional. Forget it. I'm not even going to repeat it because it was ignorant and dumb. That's what he should have said, and that would have saved him. But instead, he repeated it like it was cool to talk about his colleagues like that. Let's keep going.
Like I said, get the one out there right away so the child's not sitting and filling it.
Yeah.
Outside, members of the Detroit Fire Department arrive on scene and attempt to get up to speed on the situation.
I'm gonna go downstairs and see what the deal is.
It's decomposed, so.
What's up?
Hey, don't trip up the baby. Okay. Just because of the circumstances.
Well, it's still covered up though with the
bag. That's fine. I just want to leave everything the way it was when it first got.
All right. I changed my mind. I'm no longer going inside.
When Child Protective Services finally arrive, they determine that the children must go to the local hospital for a thorough examination while they attempt to reach family members by phone.
Okay, little ones, I have a question. How many of you have ridden in an ambulance before? Yeah, we're going to go for a ride in the ambulance. We're going to go see a doctor and make sure everybody's okay. How about that?
With the children safely on their way to the hospital, Azure D is taken to the police station for an interrogation, where investigators confront her with the question,
Oh, I guess it wasn't the girl from homicide. All right, guys, real quick, because this is going to be interesting. I want to hear what she has to say about this. Hope EW gives us a nice amount of time with this interrogation. Please hit that like button, guys. We have almost 340 people watching right now. It's a lot of people. We're very grateful that we could even pull in these kind of numbers. Wow. I mean, I remember when I started out, for a very long time, for years, the max I would have in a live is like 20 or 30 people. Like a good night, maybe 50 people. On average between 15 and 20 people. And I love those 15 and 20 people. Many of them are still a part of the show now, and I'm very grateful that they have stuck with me for so many years. But now we're at the point where we have so many people like you guys watching the show right now. Just asking for you guys to please hit that like button. Before we start again, 2 more seconds. We're not asking you to hit the like button for our ego. We're not asking you to hit the like button because you like this story that's being told to us right now. It's very tragic. The only reason why we're asking you to hit the like button is so that we could get put into the algorithm so our channel could be shown to a wider audience. Without likes and comments, YouTube only shows it to your subscribers. That means that I get no additional subscribers from this video. The channel does not grow. We stay stagnant. By hitting the like button and engaging in the comment section like so many of you folks are doing, it opens us up to a wider audience. It puts us in that algorithm, and new people could find us, and our community could grow, our community could get stronger, and we could hopefully defeat that algorithm and actually become a successful YouTube channel, guys. All right, and like I said to you guys before, if this becomes successful, I will consider, when I'm eligible to retire in a year and a half, retiring and doing this full time, because I'm burned out. I've been doing law enforcement for almost 20 years. It is what it is, and I'm eager to see what life has for me in the next iteration of my life. Only if it's successful. If it's not, I got to stick around because I got kids that need to go to college. I can't leave right now. I don't know what God has in store for me. You can have whatever plans you want, but God has his own plans, and I got to go where God takes me. But this is something that I love, that I'm passionate about, and I think I can actually give something to this platform with my experience. So if this channel is successful, you might get more of Strategic. All right, guys. Before we begin, big shout out to Jen Mac 2403 with a $9.99 super chat. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Let's get back to the content.
Of whether or not she physically harmed Chase, her response is nothing short of heartbreaking.
Never hit him.
What? Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I did. Yeah.
When? Remember, it's okay now. Just win.
I don't want to be in trouble.
Just win.
Okay, I was frustrated and I did hit him.
When?
A couple times.
I know.
It was a couple times.
Why?
I was frustrated and I was angry.
Mm-hmm. I know.
I didn't mean to hit him.
But this is the time to say what happened.
I don't know. I'm not really know if I'm feeling his style. He's like talking over her. He's not really building a rapport with her. His hands are crossed, which means that he's being, apprehensive himself, and he's, probably he's not happy with her, and he's being a little deceptive himself. Like the demeanor's off. These guys need training. I'm sorry. They need training. Her back is on the wall. She already says she want to confess. Make her feel a little loose. Hey, you need something to drink. Let me get some water for you. There's no water in front of her? Why not? Even if she's not going to drink it, get the water anyway. She's going to drink it. And there's other things you could do with that anyway. I'm not going to talk about it on this channel because I want to help the bad guys. But give her some water. Give her some water. Sit her down like, hey, I see you got a lot of kids. I could just imagine the pressure you've been under. I don't think you're a bad person. I'm not here to judge you. I've been doing this for such a long time. I've learned not to judge people because you don't know what somebody's going through. You don't know what somebody's been through. I see 6 kids in that house and no father. I can only imagine the pressure that you're under every single day. I see no food in that fridge. Instead of blaming her for not having the food, remember, we're playing a game right now. Right? We're lying to her. We are trying to build a rapport with her. Blame the lack of food on everybody else. I see no food in that fridge. I could only imagine how much you're struggling. I know if you had the resources, you'd pay for those. You put food in those kids' bellies. Tell me what happened. Unload yourself. Put that pressure on me. This guy's like, when? Why? When? Why? Talk to me. Why? When? Dude, if she was not ready to give it up, which she clearly is, he would have got nothing. If she was not ready to give it up, which she clearly is ready to give it up, he'd have got nothing. But anyway, all's in that ends well. Apparently, she gave it up and she gets charged. So let's keep going.
I just took it overboard.
What you do?
I started hitting him, and then I kicked him one time. That was it.
Where you kick him at?
I think in his chest.
Okay. What happened after you kicked him in his chest?
He laid down, and I went to go check on him, and he was okay. But the next morning, he didn't. I tried to feed him, he didn't get up.
Do you think you ultimately killed?
No, I don't think I could have, but I don't think I did.
You don't think abusing him all those months?
Oh my gosh.
Did something to him?
Yes.
That's strong. You don't think abusing him all those months? I mean, I guess he got his confession already, so he just decided to go in on her. Just not my style. I am Reed certified. Somebody said Reed technique gone wrong. I'm definitely a certified Reed interrogator. I got the certification when I was with the Department of Corrections, and it has helped me. But you can't just use Reed. You got to use an amalgamation of all types of different techniques. That's from my experience. You got to mix it all together because you just can't use one technique. Big shout out to Ellie Fant with a $10 super chat. She says, "Is this a video on what not to do? Girl needed to TFU, invoke her fifth, and ask for, well, yeah, she needed to do, but she a bad guy. We not trying to help the bad guys here, Ellie. Come on. Of course, that's what she was supposed to do, but most times they don't, and thank goodness they don't because we want them to give us those confessions. Jeez, Ellie, thank you for the super chat, but no thank you for helping the bad guys. Let's keep going.
You don't think kicking him in the chest that day did something to him? That's a yes?
Yes.
All right.
While we haven't been able to confirm with records, several news outlets reported that Chase suffered multiple skull fractures. On June 27, 3 days following the discovery of his remains, Asher D. entered a plea of not guilty to charges of felony murder, first-degree child abuse, torture, and concealing the death of an individual. While awaiting trial behind bars at the Wayne County Jail, she discusses the future of her case with an unknown male.
I'm going to trial in January.
Why would she go to trial? I mean, you gave a confession, lady, but anyway, let's bring it back. I want to listen. Stop interrupting, Strategic.
The future of her case with an unknown male.
I'm going to trial in January.
What type of court date is on the trial?
For me to take the lie detector test.
But they want to ask him about it.
About how he got that knot on his head. They want to see if I did or not. But I know I ain't guilty, so I don't got nothing to worry about.
On February 26th, 8 months after her arrest, she delivers a jaw-dropping statement while speaking with an unknown woman.
I had the baby yesterday.
Oh, you already had the baby?
Yeah, I was in there since Friday.
Oh, damn.
She was born at 8:04 yesterday.
You had a girl.
She had another baby while she was in jail? Oh, man, another breeder. Another breeder.
What is you?
Yeah, she's 10 pounds.
So what's her name and come and get her?
I don't know. They didn't even. As soon as I pushed her out, they took her. They asked for
Good. Hopefully they didn't even lay her on your chest and let her feel and smell what her mommy feel like, because her mommy ain't a mommy. Her mommy is a breeder. We talked about this on this channel before. Those mothers that aren't mothers, they aren't human beings, they're evil. And all they're entities with reproductive organs. She had another child. That's 7 kids.
I see numbers. That was it.
However, we haven't been able to confirm through records that Asher D.
Like Jen Soto. And I had somebody hit me up too, like, oh, how dare you talk about Jen Soto like that? You are mean, Mr. Perfect. They called me Mr. Perfect. No, not everybody is perfect like you, Mr. Perfect. Jen Soto is suffering right now. You know that had to be a relative of hers. Had to be. Now I looked at the person. I didn't deep dive in the person. I'm not about that life. I'm not doxing, but they had a profile picture. I clicked it, and it was a Latina with a bunch of kids. I'm pretty sure she's probably related in some capacity with Jen Soto, and she's mad because I called Jen Soto the worst mother on the planet. I don't care how she feels, because Maddie is gone, okay? And if she felt the way she felt now that beautiful angel is gone, maybe she could have saved her life if she cared a little bit more than she cared. Because I don't want to go off the rails, but you guys know how I feel about that little girl, how she touched me in my heart. Mommy dearest, Jen Soto, said that if it was a school night, she would the last statement she said on the sleeping arrangements was that if it was a school night, that means 5 days out of the week, she would send Maddie to sleep with Stefan in bedroom number 4. The case was over for me at that point. Any redeeming factors or qualities or whatever, that any grace that I could give Jen Soto went out the window at that point. If it was a school night, she would send Madeline to sleep with Stefan in bedroom number 4. Now, the next question I would have for Jen is, was that before or after you had those Woody Allen conversations with Stefan multiple times where you expressed that your greatest fear is that Maddie would grow up and run away with Stefan and start a family with him? Was it before or after you sent her to sleep in bedroom number 4 with Stefan 5 days out of the week when there's school? But yet somebody's hitting me up and telling me to have grace and mercy and empathy for Jen when Jen spent her entire existence not caring about that little girl. But anyway, what do I know? I don't know anything. What do you care? What do you care? Just don't watch my show. Anyway, back to
Gave
this.
birth to a 7th child while in jail. On July 12, 2024, 31-year-old Azurdi France changed her plea to guilty for the charge of second-degree murder, while all other charges were dismissed. She was sentenced to 35 to 60 years, with 767 days credited for time served. She's currently incarcerated at the Michigan Department of Corrections. While the current status of Azurdi's children is unknown, a GoFundMe created by Chase's grandmother raised over $8,000 for funeral expenses and the ongoing care of his surviving siblings.
Wow. You know, I always say that one day when the show is big enough and we pulling in money and we could say, yo, we're making YouTube money, man. We are YouTube rich. If that ever happens, I will be one of the most generous YouTubers because I would definitely donate to cases like this. I don't have any money now. You know, most I could do is $20, $40 here or there when I can. And I'll definitely try and go in and help out this family with my $20 or my $40. I really don't have any money. I'm taking care of family. Taxes is high. Everything is high. Everything is crazy. I'm just like you guys. But if God gives me the opportunity to one day have money, I will make sure that I give back because it's just sad and it's heartbreaking. Just sad and heartbreaking. I will definitely be a generous person to try and help out the needy as best as I can. And I would and if I had money, I would pay for that child's funeral if I had money. I wouldn't take that money and buy a Ferrari and all that stuff. That stuff means nothing to me. Like I don't care about that stuff. Like I really don't. You know? Yeah, you give me $50,000, I'll go buy a brand new Honda Accord with cloth seats and then put the rest in the stock market. You know what I mean? I don't want a Mercedes Benz. I don't want a BMW. If I'm rich, I'm gonna use that money to help people, not buy unnecessary materialistic things that you can't take with you to the grave. It's crazy. You give me $1 billion right now, and I would quite literally do something that's my dream. You want to know what my dream is? If I was rich, it's not my dream now, but if I was rich, it would become my dream to start a university that would give kids free educations. However we do it, whether if there's a big enough endowment, Harvard does it, Yale does it, these big schools with huge endowments, they do it. You don't pay to go to Harvard anymore. It's free. If I was super rich and I had $1 billion, I would literally start my own university from scratch. And then I would use the rest of my money to make sure that nobody ever has to pay for tuition to go to this university. My dream is to start a school of higher learning. That's my dream. It is what it is. Let's go to some articles and let's call it a day. I don't want to read anything too graphic. This one's kind of graphic. This Newsweek, go look it up. It'll give you some good information, but a lot of it we've already seen. Detroit, before her youngling, Chase Allen, was found no longer with us in a freezer. Child Protective Services have been to Azurdi, France's life and lives of her children. Her oldest, youngling, is a girl. Azurdi Miata, France, I'm hoping I'm saying her name correctly, has a history of postpartum depression. She has a history of it. Nobody helped her out. I mean, it is what it is. Her mental health continues to be untreated. A CPS worker detailed in a court record after indicating that they received a complaint that France threatened to harm one of her younglings in 2020, the day after giving birth to this youngling. Foster care workers were already active in the family's life, and a foster care worker with the Department of Health and Human Services said that France was not being compliant in her treatment plan. She had postpartum, but she kept having kids to the tune of 7 children. She even had a kid when she was in jail. She had a 3-month-old in the house, and then she was pregnant at that time and had a baby while she was incarcerated. 7 kids. Unbelievable. But yet you had postpartum. Unbelievable. Let's keep going. In 2018, France was charged with 3rd-degree child neglect, a felony, and she admitted to assaulting a very youngling. According to court records, France admitted to CPS investigators that she inappropriately supervised, physically neglected, physically abused the youngling who had been in her care for about a month. So some genius who probably got their own problems left their youngling with her, even though she has a history of not treating younglings appropriately. It's like a cycle. The whole community is broken. Let's keep going. The youngling's father, France's brother, had passed away, and the child's mother told CPS workers that she allowed the toddler to live with France for a short time because she told them she needed a break. Everybody needs a break. Nobody's able to rise up to the occasion of being a parent. You know, this is not this lady's fault that she was without a father, because obviously the father passed away. It's very tragic. But geez, man, she delivered her baby. She needed a break, so she delivered her baby to a person that has a history of not treating younglings accordingly. Let's keep going. Court records indicate that the youngling's mother became suspicious that something was wrong, but she said France refused to send her a picture of her youngling and then refused to return him. Wow. By the time the youngling got to the hospital, his lips were swollen. His left eye was black with a scratch underneath it. He had a contusion on his forehead and bruises to his rib cage and both ankles. This lady should have been in jail at that point. She literally should have been incarcerated for a lengthy amount of time off of what happened to this youngling. France pleaded guilty to 4th-degree youngling neglect, or abuse rather, a misdemeanor, and a felony charge was dismissed. She said, there's another thing. We keep dismissing these charges in these low-income communities like they're just, if you do something like this in a high-income community, you don't get your charges dismissed. Isn't that crazy? But you do these kind of crimes in low-income communities, and they're all about this whole bail reform, and we got to, give people second chances. So then you have a situation where people have these horrible crimes that they never pay for because they always get these deals that lessen the charges that don't let them pay for what they actually did. What she was charged with is not what she actually did. What she did was the felony, but instead they gave her the misdemeanor. Unbelievable. Let's keep going. She received 2 years of probation, which ended in February of 2021. But that was far from the beginning of CPS workers being involved with the family. The plot just gets thicker over here, man. This article is just as important as the video as we saw. Just as important as the videos as we saw. Court records indicate prior contacts with CPS 3 times in 2016 and twice in 2017 due to physical abuse, improper supervision, sexual abuse, failure to protect, and physical neglect. Wow. Wow. The whole gamut. Everything under the sun, basically. And then she escalated to actually unaliving. The whole gamut. It's unclear why, but after France completed probation on her criminal youngling abuse case, her younglings were returned to her. Because the probation, after it was over, that means she was 100% rehabilitated. She was good to go. These kids had a little bit of a reprieve because they were removed from her, but as soon as she was done with that probation, the law says she is cured of her maladies. She is a new person now because she finished her probation. Oh, wow. See how that worked out. Didn't work out too well, did it? Got to shave my head when I get in the shower later. Then the fall of 2021, CPS reportedly initiated an investigation of injuries on little Chase. But because a doctor could not substantiate any abuse, the case was closed. It's unclear what prompted CPS to ask Detroit police to do a well-being check on the youngling late Thursday, but when officers arrived, sources said France eventually told them that her youngling was in the basement. Officers checked the basement and found the youngling remains in a freezer. France reportedly told officers that Chase had medical issues and passed away a few months ago, so she put his body in the freezer. 7 Action News reached out to Michigan Department of Health and Human Services for information about CPS contacts with the family. MDHHS Public Information Officer Lynn Sufton replied with the following statement. Let's see what she had to say. I bet you it's a little bit of nothing. Let's see. The Michigan Department of Health and Human Services is deeply saddened to learn of the passing of this youngling. We express our condolences to everyone who've loved him. MDHHS is strongly committed to protecting the safety and well-being of all younglings. The department by law cannot release specifics about younglings protecting services investigations or confirm whether or not CPS has received complaints about a specific family or individual. A little bit of nothing, right? At least they said sorry for the loss. It's more than they usually give. Azure France has been arraigned on charges of felony murder, first-degree youngling abuse, torture, and concealing the death of an individual. She was denied bond and is set to be back in court on July 8th for a probable cause conference. France's preliminary examination is set for July 15th before 36th District Court Kenneth King. Wow. What's the outcome? Oh, we know what the outcome is. 30 to 60 years in prison. Wow. At least we got justice in this one. You guys want to hit the phone lines? You guys want me to hit the phone line? We could do that. I'm okay with that. We can hit the phones. So Skype is actually going to be discontinued in May, which means we're going to have to find a different software that actually comes with a phone number. So Microsoft Teams has replaced Skype, but Teams doesn't have a phone number where we could have like call-ins and stuff like that. So we got the lines open now. So we got to find something that's going to give us a phone number that people can actually call into. And Aki, my phone died, unfortunately. It's rare that my phone dies. So if you need me, you're going to have to get my attention in the chat or something like that because you can't text message me. My phone is dead. Somebody said Google Voice. Google Voice is an option, but I already have a Google Voice number for other business that I do. And I tried to get a second Google Voice number, and they won't let you tie a second Google Voice number to your phone. But you know what? No, Google Voice is an option because I can set up a Google Voice with my Strategic Eyes name and not attach it to a phone number. Just use the phone number online. That's a really good idea, and I really appreciate that, Tabitha. I didn't think about that. I don't have to tie it to my phone. I could just have it for the cloud. And I think that will be an option. That's what we'll do. We'll do Google Voice. But anyway, let me get the phone number and put it in the chat. I want to take a couple of calls from you fine people, and then we'll call it a day, man. You guys are awesome, man. It's almost midnight for some of us. For some of you, it might be later. It might be earlier. It might be the next day for some of you folks. You guys hanged out with me and covered this tough case, and I definitely appreciate you and respect you for it. Big shout out to Aki for putting the phone number in the chat. We'll go ahead and post and pin that bad boy. It's pinned to the top, guys. 518-639-6283. Please do call in. We want to hear from you. We want to hear your opinion on this case. Very, very, very sad stuff. But hey, listen, it's what we do. We're here to talk about the tough things that other people may not be willing to talk about. So big shout out to everybody who's joining me today. Please hit me up 518-639-6283. 518-639-6283. Oh, Aki says her number is wrong. Don't post no crazy numbers, man. You gotta get that right. What's wrong with you? Aki crazy. 518-639-6283. 518-639-6283. Hit me up. Let's talk. Talk about whatever you want to talk about. We don't put a limit on what you want to talk about. If you ask me something that I don't want to answer, I'll tell you I don't want to answer it. But certainly, we can talk about whatever. Talk about Madeline. Talk about this. Talk about whatever is on your mind. You talk about it. If nobody calls in, then we call it a day. All right. Norma says it's 10:38 in. Excuse me. Harrison says it's 10:38 in Oklahoma. And Norma says it's 8:37. Is that 8:37 a.m. or 8:37 p.m. where you're calling from? And Fuerto Fitness says it's 10:36 where she's at right now. I think Fuerto is in Cali, right? Am I right or wrong? Fuerto, you in Cali? And Norma says it's p.m. Where are you calling from, Norma? We're curious. See where different folks are calling from. We do have an international show, and we're very grateful about that. We got people calling from all over, so we appreciate that. Norma's in California as well. Show some love, guys. Anybody want to call in? If you guys don't want to call in, it's perfectly fine. It is late, and we could just call it a day, but it is early. We've only given you guys an hour and 16-minute show, so we're definitely open to hearing from you fine people. Queen Olive is in Washington State, and N. Norberg is in Colorado. Consuelo Medina is in New Mexico. Wow, he's such a diverse audience. Fawny is in OC. We don't know what that's at. We're not that smart over here. We don't know what OC is. Debbie's in Iowa. Danielle's in Houston, Texas. Indiana is in Indiana. Very creative name, Indiana. And Obsidian is in the 51st state, which is in Canada. All right, I'm about to let you guys go because nobody's calling it. It's perfectly fine. But we do appreciate everybody who supported us on this chat. Fawny is in Orange County near Disneyland. Appreciate you, Fawny. There's one thing I'm looking forward to with all this mess in politics. Everything's just going crazy. We're not talking politics. I want to tell you one policy that I think will change my life, and I'm looking forward to it because I work very hard, man. Very, very hard, and my family could definitely do for this boost. And I think it might help some of you guys too. So we're not talking politics. Politics is so polarizing right now, but right now, it doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on, Democrat or Republican, they're talking about no tax on overtime. And I really pray that that happens, ladies and gentlemen, because if we get some no tax on overtime, it would really help my family. And I think it'll help some of you guys too. So I hope that that happens. We need some reprieve, man. Us working people, us hardworking people, we really need some help out here. Price of eggs is crazy. I don't know, man. I work so much overtime, and when I look at and I'm forced to work the overtime, guys. You guys see how hard I work. Sometimes I'm working 16-hour days every single day, man. And when I look at my check, it is bananas how much taxes come out of that check. Where it's like, you're like, oh man, I worked hard, and it's like, oh my God, I don't have any money. It's crazy. So if they do no tax on overtime, oh Lord of mercy. Thank you, Jesus. Anyway, that's all I got for you guys. $10 eggs, right? It was like $12 when I went in the supermarket. $10 eggs in Cali. $12 when I went in the supermarket, man. And, you know, they ran out of the dozen, so we had to get the 3 dozen, and that was almost $20. It's crazy. But anyway, that's for the members area. We're not going to talk about that stuff on the main channel. I thank you guys immensely for rocking out with me. MV Mountain Mama with a $5 super chat says, house is down with the sickness, so I'm not calling in, but have you looked into Idaho 4 case? How do you feel about how the cops handled that? I covered it for a little bit and never really felt comfortable because it's such a complex case and I never took the time to get a deep dive in it. I don't want to talk about something and not know what I'm talking about. And that's one of those cases, like, you had to be in it from the beginning because there's so much to that case. And I don't want to give you guys a disservice by talking about something that I'm not deeply ingrained in, like I am with the Madeline Soto case and the Ayanna Sawyer case, you know, and you know, the Jarvis case, Butts case. Like, I'm deep in those cases. I know those cases. I can recite them off the top of my head. I know all the little intricate details of them. That case is so complicated. Maybe one day I might go back and really research it and get deep into it. But right now I'm not comfortable with it. So I can't really critique it the way that I'd like to. And I would never do a disservice to you guys by trying to talk about it and not know what the hell I'm talking about. I dived in it and I waded in it a little bit and I never felt comfortable with it. And so that's my take on that. But yeah, it's a good case and it's interesting. And I wish I did jump into it, but it really didn't interest me. You know, my interest is in sex crimes, really. So you're going to see me gravitate more towards those because that's my expertise. You know, that's just straight up murder case, man. And it's a horrible case. And there's a lot of really tricky things with that case. But I'm going to leave it up to the pros. You know, I'm going to go look at Grizzly and see what she got to say about that because I think she got a good grasp on it. And, yeah. Let's go to Grizzly and watch on the Idaho 4. We'll all go watch it together. We'll go to Grizzly and watch it together for the Idaho 4. Anyway, guys, appreciate you guys. I'm going to end it now. I only kept going because I wanted to show some love to Mountain Mama. But, guys, you guys are great. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Consider becoming a member of the Strategic Eyes Show. We have a lot of great content that we put just for members. So consider becoming a member to support the channel. Like I told you guys, we got hit really hard this past month because almost all of our shows were demonetized. I hope they don't do that to us here, but we'll see. Once we get off this live, we'll see how YouTube treats this video. I think we were very fair, and I think we were very cognizant of not saying keywords, but we'll see if they punish us or not. But the membership is what keeps us afloat. The Patreon is what keeps us afloat. So if you want to support the channel and keep us around, please consider becoming a part of the membership or the Patreon. We do appreciate you. We'll give you that extra content if you join the channel that way. And the Patreon, of course, is where we can talk without being censored. So we definitely put exclusive video on the Patreon that you can't find on the membership because the membership is still a part of YouTube. So we got to be mindful what we do on YouTube. So other than that, I'll see you guys on the next one. Strategic is out of here. Peace.